going on, everybody?
Hi.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
Welcome back to
Led by Christ.
We are two girls who are led by Jesus Christ.
This is Emily, and I'm Carissa.
Yeah, that's her name.
Yes,
that's her name. So, you know what's funny?
What's funny?
Oh my gosh! Look at the sunset.
Oh wow, it's so pretty.
It's pink. Wow, that's
looks
nice. Looks like cotton candy.
That's what I was just gonna say. You take. Anyways.
Anyway, so what's funny, right? Somebody, one of our friends asked, mutual friend, asked me why our intro is like 4 minutes long, like our intro. I was like, I don't know. When I start recording, I just feel like the madness go through my brain.
Yeah.
I just feel like a whole bunch of stuff just comes out. I don't know. Maybe because I'm with you.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna. You're taking the thoughts right out of my head today. Wow.
We're like this. That's why we're like this, man.
Yes, the chemistry we have is crazy.
It's like crazy.
It's insane. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so, Yeah, so that's why I don't know, man. I just feel foolish.
Yeah,
I feel smart.
Giddy.
Yes, that's
It's
it.
not foolish, it's just
not
giddy.
Foolish.
Yeah.
It's just giddiness. Like,
yeah. And then it just makes you want to talk a lot and just ramble a lot, even though we do that off camera, but...
Yeah. We do ramble, don't we? We just go on and on and on and on.
Even when you're getting dressed, even when you're making tea, even when you're doing anything, I can just sit there and just ramble with you.
Yeah. It's just rambling. Like when we're in the car, it's worse. Especially because we're stuck. Like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Especially when we're in traffic.
And the thing is, I don't ever get tired of it.
Yeah, me neither. It's just fun.
Yeah, I never say, oh my goodness, this is so annoying.
No, and you don't feel weird. And then sometimes like there's like moment of silence. And then we go back to talking again.
Yeah. And the thing was with the silence, it's not awkward at all. It's just like
It's just like we just need a minute to process what we're gonna say.
Yeah, to fill up our brains so we know what we're saying.
So we can just explode one more time.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we are talking about broken families, as you saw by the title of this video.
Wait, we didn't say our mission.
Yes, I was just about to say. Welcome to the podcast. Our mission is to inspire, instill hope, and embody transformation, revealing the perfect God.
Will of God.
Yes, the perfect will of God. We speak truth, share the good news, and address challenges of this generation, of our generation. Yeah. We talk about it all.
Mm-hmm. We just have a say on it.
Apparently we have a say. I don't know who gave us the say. I don't know where it came from.
We took it upon ourselves.
It came from America, free speech. We have free speech, so we can say whatever, we want. But of course, godliness first. Yeah, so we hope that this episode will inspire you in some way.
Yes, and help you and build you up in some type of way.
Take what you need and
just go with it.
Just go with it. If nothing applies to you, then reject the nothing that applies. But whatever does apply,
just take it.
All right, let's talk about it. I'm gonna be so clear with you guys. I don't come from a broken family, just so you know. But my dear,
I do.
My dear cousin here, she does, and so she has more experience on it. However, I do have some thoughts about it, but you could tell me if they're true or not. All right, let's kick it off. How about you explain your story?
So my story is that as a little girl, my world kind of did revolve around my parents, because as a child growing up, those were the only two people that I really saw and that I really looked up to.
Okay.
And I always saw that there were broken families outside. Like when I would go to school, I would see like kids saying, oh, I have a stepmom. Oh, my dad doesn't live with me. And in my head, I'm like, I wonder what that's like, because I don't know, because I have my two parents.
Right.
And, they had disagreements here and there. There was arguments. But one thing that happened, that they kept coming back to each other. They would always make up at the end of the day. So in my head, I'm like, when I see them fighting, I was like, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, they come back together. But then when I was 13, there was this one specific argument that happened, and I was awake at night, and my mom, she said that she was like packing her stuff to leave. And then my dad was like, no, like, you know how it goes. And she ended up still staying, and they stayed together. But then after a while, it became so toxic. The relationship became so toxic where they had stopped talking to each other. They lived in the same house, but they stopped talking to each other. When she's home, he's not home. When he's home, she's not home. Whatever. Their schedules were like completely opposite to each other. And then in my head, I was like, I always thought that, you know, they're going to come back together no matter what, because they're married, and married people are supposed to stay together. But apparently one day, my dad just got up and then he left. He decided to leave. And then that day was the day where I was like, oh my goodness, like, it's time for me to accept reality, that this is what it is, and that there's no more hopes, there's no more restoration, that this can't be fixed. Because my dad already made up his mind, and my mom had made up her mind already too, because they were not, imagine living in the same home and not speaking to each other, sleeping on the same bed and not speaking to each other. That's just crazy.
Yeah. And how did you react when your dad left? Were you there?
No, I was not there.
Okay.
Yes, I think I was. Yeah, I was. Well, so there was a period of time where he would, like, every single day we go to school and I come back home. My dad used to work night shift. So in the day he would sleep, and then in the night he would go to work.
Right.
So in the day when he's home, we're not home because we go to school. And then bit by bit, I started seeing him, like, he started moving out his clothes, moving out, like, different stuff that belonged to him. So, but I never really, like, took it for anything until one day he was like, he got up. He was getting ready for work, and then he told us, he was like, I have something to tell you guys. You know, it's not working out between your mom and I. I've decided to, you know, go on my own now because, you know, there's no fixing here. And then immediately I started crying, because that's when, like, I realized that it hit me that I have to accept it now. You know, there's no more running around expecting things to change. And then he was like, I'm giving you guys a choice. You can come with me if you want to, or you can stay with your mom. I chose to stay with my mom because, you know, I just did. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was headed for, living with my dad. And I personally loved my mom a lot, and I couldn't imagine life without her at that time. So I was like, I want to stay with my mom.
Right.
But yeah, that was the day. You know, it was devastating. I was crying a lot.
And Chris, where did...
He was there too.
He chose to...
He chose to stay. My brother chose to stay as well with me and my mom. Yeah.
So it must have been like a rush of...
It was like a rush of emotions, because it's like when you bottle up something and you just keep it there, but then all of a sudden something just comes and, like, breaks it, and then it's just, like, all over the place and you don't know what to do.
Did you feel angry at anyone in particular, or at both, or at the whole thing?
After a while, I did. At first I was very sad and I was devastated, because I did love my dad as well.
Yeah.
Because as I said before, my world literally revolved around the two of them. Like, without the two of them, I did not know what to do without the two of them. I didn't know how to go to school, how to do this, whatever. And I did love my dad as much, but it was sad. But then after a while, I kind of started getting angry. Like, anger and hatred was kind of built up on the inside of me. And I didn't, like, stop it. Like, I didn't cut it out, say, oh, no, I can't do this. This is wrong. It kept building and building and building, because from there on, everything else just got worse.
Right.
Like, my life, even Christoph's life, even my mom's life, it kind of got worse. And I was just angry. And the one thing is that I could not express this, because if I expressed it, then my mom would feel a certain way. Like, I had to be the one to, like, I tried to be the one to hold my mom's hand. Because I knew that it broke her too, but she wouldn't tell me. And sometimes she would say, and she would cry by herself, and I would hear. So me now, I'm like, you know what? I can't express my emotions and be broken as well with her. So I have to try to encourage her, try to hold her hand, try to walk her through this. But at the same time, I was not feeling my own emotions and accepting what I was feeling at that time.
And it's like everybody's in pieces.
Yeah. And I was the one that was trying to, like,
put it together. Yeah.
But I left myself out of it.
Right. Wow. And then you have to walk around that too. Was there a breaking point for you?
There was a breaking point, because eventually you trying to carry someone and trying to be the one to hold things together when you yourself is broken, because what are you giving off if you're broken on the inside? It, like, comes to a point where, like, you can't pretend anymore and you just burst out, and it's just like, that's your breaking point. And I remember... Well, the person that I broke down to was God, and I felt like that's where he met me. And that's where I let go of my will, and that's when he came in. Yes.
Nice. It's in our hardest spots.
Yeah.
Hardest, most dreadful moments that God meets us.
Yeah, when you hit rock bottom.
When you hit rock bottom, he's always there to scoop you right back up.
Yeah.
Always. And that's where the never failed, never forsaken part of God. Because like we feel that we go through situations and that's God failing us.
Yeah.
We feel like that's where God fails us. However, that is not. Because our life was not promised to be perfect.
Yeah. There's always going to be
struggles. Always struggles, always tribulations. And some of them are worse than others. However, the never forsaken part comes in when God will meet you. He meets you right where you are.
And the thing is that he doesn't just leave you there or watch you in your brokenness, but he helps you. He tries his best to help you, but you got to be on the receiving end. Like, yes, I need help. You can't do it on your own. Because you're trying to be your own God.
Of course. And then you're giving no room for God there. So it doesn't make sense for God to actually help you. That's the reason why sometimes we don't receive help.
Yeah.
Because we're not willing to receive it. And we're saying, I can do this on my own. It's all right, God, I got this. You're being the God over your own life.
Yes.
Right. So how did it look like for you to receive God? How did it?
I remember that same night. So it was like in the living room. My mom was at home. Christoph, I don't know where he was. I don't remember him being there when I broke down. But I broke down crying and I was like, I really can't do this anymore. And like I lashed out saying like, if you're the God of the universe and if everyone believes in you and if everyone says you're great and all these type of stuff, then why is it that I'm facing this? And my thing is that I never did anything wrong. I never did anything wrong. I was like, I'm just innocent. I'm just a child.
Yeah.
But like, why are you letting this happen? You knew how much my parents meant to me. You know how much whatever, every single thing. But why would you let this happen? And I broke down and I started crying and crying and crying, whatever, letting it all out. And I remember that specific moment after I finished crying, I felt peace. Like I just felt like an overwhelming peace just like took over me. And then I was confused because I was like, what is this?
I should be crying, God, but here I am smiling.
And then that's where I ended that night. And then I think 2 days after, I remember it was Grandpa Dave's birthday and everyone was like celebrating. And they asked us to come with them, like, to cut the cake or whatever. And I was feeling so down and so like I don't want to be around anyone. I just want to like be by myself. And I remember I was like making up excuses like, oh, I have to go do this. So I have to just not to be around anyone. And I remember your mom coming to me and then she was like, what's wrong? Why aren't you coming? Like, and then I was like, I don't feel like coming, whatever. Like I have so much things to do, I got to help my mom, whatever. She's like, oh, let me help you then. I'll help you. And then she started talking to me and she was like, what's really going on with you? Like what's wrong with you? And then I started telling her and then she was like, I noticed it about you. She was like, even when you came to church, like you just, like there was something that was different about you. And then she was like, I didn't know that this was going on. And I started crying to her and expressing it. And then she was like, the God that we serve, he does not fail. The God that I go up there every Sunday and I talk about and everything that I say about him, he is that God and he will show up for you and help you. And then I was just crying, expressing, and I was like, yes. And then that's the second time I knew. I was like he is real because he heard me and he sent her as a sign to talk to me to let me know that he is who he says he is.
Right. It's so funny. God works in so many different ways.
Yeah.
He'll send people. He'll give you a reassuring feeling. He'll send his spirit. Like, he does so many things to make sure that you know that you're going to get through this.
Yes.
He's that good. And, like, also another thing is that when you're going through certain situations, you have to find somebody to talk to. Because keeping it bottled up just...
Yeah, it just makes it worse because you're isolating yourself. You're just opening, like, more doors to, like...
chaos and, like, driving yourself crazy. Because how do you go insane? Like, there's just stuff up there.
Yeah.
Right? There's demons, but there's stuff up there that's just driving you nuts all the time. Unresolved issues that you're not dealing with, all these things. So that's how, So I wanted to say that broken families are a result of choices. And it's not necessarily the parent's fault. It's just a lot of times that people come into relationships with unresolved baggage, unresolved issues that can, contribute to chaos. Because if we haven't dealt with our traumas, if we haven't dealt with our, pains and stuff like that, what are they going to do? Spiral out of control. And then when you enter a relationship with all that stuff, it's going to spiral out of control at that person. So that's how, like, these things, and it's not particularly the parents' fault. Like, it just happens. The enemy, like, he just comes in, and the stuff that we had dealt with as a child, it's things that we've been through, and just demons a lot of times, out to destroy.
The things that you struggle with most in your childhood is like he takes it and he uses it against you. Because I remember when I was growing up, when it came to expressing my feelings, like my parents would always tell me, don't answer back to me or don't talk back to me. Like when I did something and they thought it was wrong, and I was like, no, I didn't mean to do it like that. They would say, like, you're talking back to me. And now I grew up now, like when someone does something wrong to me or when I do something wrong, it's like I just shut down. I can't express my emotion. I don't understand what's happening on the inside of me. Right.
And you're not in touch with your feelings a lot of times.
A lot of times when people ask me, like, what am I feeling right now? I'm like, I don't know what I'm feeling. And they think that I'm so nonchalant about it or I don't want to talk about it, but it's because I really don't know what I'm feeling.
Right.
Like it's a mix of like whatever.
A mix of whatever you're feeling.
Yeah. Emotions.
Yeah. It's our parents have so much to do with how we grow up and how we mature and how we solve our own issues. Like if our parents don't give us a good ground to stand on, we'll be lost as adults. We'll be lost as teenagers. We'll be lost in the world. And that's where we get so influenced by the culture.
True.
By because we don't know how to handle ourselves. We don't know what our values are. So whatever they're throwing at our face, we're just consuming it. Because we want something.
And that's the only thing you know.
That's the only thing you know. So that's why it's important for us to also listen to our parents and what they say.
And it also goes back to what you're saying that as an individual, if you have certain things that you're struggling with, don't go into a relationship because you might, spiral and extend it to the other person as well. And then you both are like down. But like if it goes further into marriage and you guys have kids, your unresolved trauma and your issues that you didn't deal with, you pass it on to the kids.
Right. And it's like that. It's like a yoke that forms. It's like a yoke.
And if that child doesn't deal with it and say, I'm going to be the one to end it right here, it passes on to the
That's why generational curses are a thing.
I remember I was sitting in my bed one day and I was like thinking about my parents and like everything that happened. And I was like, I don't want to do this to my kids. And I always remember my dad would say, he doesn't want to ever do anything to hurt his kids. Yeah, you might say things and yes, sometimes you make mistakes, but he doesn't want to do anything huge when it came to like leaving his kids because he got left as a kid too. Yeah. But he ended up doing the same thing. And I remember sitting on my bed and I was like, I would never do this to my kids. And then I remember that same thing in the flashback and I was like, oh, but he still did it. And I was like, for this reason, I don't want to have kids at all. Like I don't ever want to have kids because I don't want to put them in that situation where they're so lost and where they feel the way that I feel.
Wow.
And it's going to be so much worse with me knowing I felt that way when I was a kid and I still passed it on to them. But that's the way I used to think. I don't think that way now.
Good. Yes. I was just about to ask you that. Because we just had this conversation. So, no, but and that's true. But then you know what happened, you know what your father did, you know his mistake there. But then you know that you serve a God who can break chains, who's a chain breaker.
And that's the thing that changes everything.
Yeah. That's probably what changed your perspective, right?
I always say to myself, if I didn't have Jesus, I don't know what I would be doing. Like, I would literally be like some crackhead on the street doing drugs.
Probably same here.
Because like with all the pain and like the just like confusion of what's happening and you don't know what to do, it can lead you, as you said, to accept what the culture is throwing at you.
Yes, because the culture is throwing that right now. Do drugs. because there was a campaign when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Right? That was just a campaign all in all. But now they say be careful. Be careful. You know, when teachers say, I'm so surprised by that. They say like when they talk about drugs, they're like, just be careful, be careful. But it's like, hello, what happened to don't do it at all?
Yeah.
You see how the things twist?
Yes.
And it's only within a span of like 5 years. 5-10 years max. Craziness.
Yeah.
I don't even think 10. Like, it's like that close. It's like
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8 years.
I remember at the back of our our notebooks, it would say "Don't do drugs."
Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
There was a huge banner in my elementary school. Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Now it's be careful. Now they talk about doing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's sad what the culture is throwing at us.
Yeah.
So when we don't have that firm ground, and where does the firm ground start? It starts right in the home.
Yeah.
It starts in the home. So if we don't have a firm ground to stand on from our home,
Mm-hmm.
because why? The home is made up of nuclear. It's the nuclear family. It's
Yeah.
the parents and the kids. And what happens is that your formation happens in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Your growth, your what's it called? Your decision? No. Your understanding of right and wrong
Yeah.
comes from the household as well.
Yeah. Your first teachers are your parents.
Yes. Whatever you know comes from your parents first.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why it is so important that we need to stay in the home and do the home according to the word of God. Do the home exactly like spare the rod and spoil the child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like these values, we must be implanted into us so that it's in our DNA. So when we step out of the house, when we get to teenager years, our rebellious years, we decide, no, we're not rebellious because this is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to go through trauma, go through tribulation.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And you know what happens? Like brokenness, broken homes and stuff starts with the parents, and then like we were saying, bringing in baggage into relationships. But it's also like who you marry.
Yeah. True.
Because you can't marry the wrong person.
Mm-mm.
So what I think, here's my theory about this. What I think happens is that, number one, maybe the pressure for our parents or from people around us. You're at this age now. You're 25. When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? Think about it. You'll have kids so old.
Yeah.
When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna get? And it's like there's this pressure all the time that once you become like an adult.
Yeah, true.
It's the next step of your life is when you're gonna get married. Marriage is so important. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it becomes our center of attention. That's all we think about from this age.
Yeah, once you hit a certain age.
When you hit that certain age, you feel it. You feel the eyes on you like, okay, you're getting.
I'm looking forward to what's about to happen.
You're about to get up there. You're there already, so you should be thinking about.
Yeah.
But and so whoever comes our way first,
we settle.
We settle. We settle for them. We settle. We see the red flags in that person,
Yes.
but we settle. And you may have so much love for that person, but the love is not reciprocated.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah. But we still settle for it.
Yeah. Because I remember asking my dad, I was like this was after everything happened. Well, now I live with my dad. And,
well, her life is crazy.
It's crazy. Anyways.
Her life is crazy.
I, sometimes I ask him, was like, so, did you have any girlfriends before you met my mom? He was like, oh, I had a girlfriend even when I met your mom. I was like, what? So what you're saying is that it's important that you see the red flags and you just don't ignore them, but you look into it. You don't ignore the red flag and say, oh, because I'm with this person, I'm going to marry them. What they show you is what they really are.
You know what? I did not understand what you just said. Run that back one more time.
So I was saying the whole scenario with my dad, I was asking him one day, I was like, did you have any girlfriends before you met my mom?
Sure.
And he was like, yeah, I had a girlfriend during when your mom and I, we were like together.
Right.
So I was like, what? And then I was saying that it's important what you were saying as well, because as we see the red flags, you don't be in such a rush to get married, or even if you're in a relationship, don't be in such a rush to say, oh, this is the person that I want to get married to, even though the red flags are there.
Right.
And even though you know about the red flags, don't ignore the red flags and say, oh, but he has potential. She has potential. You know, she'll change. She'll change.
Yeah.
What they show you is what they really are.
Yeah.
What they give to you, that's what they are.
Yeah. And you can't change anybody. Like, I don't know how we think as humans we can change people. That's not in our power. Like, you can influence people definitely by speaking life into them. Those stuff, sure, 100%. But you can't physically change a person.
No. It's up to, you can keep talking about it and keep telling them, hey, whatever. But it's up to them to make that choice. Like, yes, I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make the choice to
You
change.
don't have a magic wand that could change Carissa's bad attitude. No, you don't. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So I don't know what we think that we could change people. But to what you were saying, that's crazy though. Honestly, that's really crazy.
And that's what a lot of us do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see the red flags and we just sort of like, oh, it's just a red flag. I like the color red.
Ooh, red. It's adventurous, you know?
It's mysterious.
It's mysterious. No.
Run away.
It's harmful. That's what that is.
Yes.
That's so sad. But yeah, and there needs to be love from both sides.
Yes.
Both sides need to show a crazy amount of love. And like a lot of times we think that it's not, that doesn't exist anymore. But trust me, it does exist.
Yeah.
It does exist. And if we would wait a little bit, have a little patience, it would come our way so quickly.
Yeah. True.
That's my understanding of all this. Like, we just have to wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
And sometimes in the moment, we're just thinking about our desires and what we want and ourselves. But I've learned that you can't just think about yourself and what you want, but you got to think about your future kids too.
Yeah.
And the home that you're trying to build.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about the home that you're trying to build. Think about, what values am I going to instill into my child? Yeah. What do they want to see from my marriage?
I don't want to live in the moment, but I want to see ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the ahead. Where do you want your life to end up? Your kid's life.
Yeah.
Definitely not like mine, but yeah.
And I don't know. These are just thoughts that do plague your mind.
Yeah, it does a lot.
Just think about it. Especially how you get up in age a little bit. Like I think about these things.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. And we're not marriage counselors. I'll give you that.
No,
we're not even married. Yeah, we're not.
Why did she?
Nah, she's not.
No, I keep making jokes about how I'm reserved, but I'm really not.
Yeah, no.
There's no ring on my finger.
No,
it's free. It's open.
No, but like it's funny, but it's true. Like, don't.
Yeah, these are like my thoughts.
These are just thoughts that we have, and we apparently we want to share them with the world. Why is there a second mic stand here?
Has that been there all the time?
That has been here.
Oh wow.
Many times we think the kids just suffer, but really everybody in the home is suffering.
Yeah.
Everybody. Parents, kids, everybody is just suffering. Because if there is one problem in the home, everybody lives there.
Yeah.
Everybody lives together. So your problems automatically become my problems.
Yeah.
Because we can feel the tension in the air. We can feel the chaos that's brewing. Mm-hmm. So when we don't deal with that, it's like there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay, what's happening? Yeah. What to do next?
What do I do next? What piece do I need to put here in the puzzle?
You're right. Especially with your scenario, we see that you try and fix things now.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
There's no like direction to what's next. So you try and fix it. And then it just makes things worse for you.
Yeah, nothing really did work out.
Nothing really worked out. So that's why you need to become clear. I'm not saying tell everybody your problem. Like tell them explicitly what the problem is. However, we gotta address the problem. Say, all right, there's a little something going on right now, but by the grace of God, through prayer. And I feel like what makes a home strong is when you pray. When there's constant prayer going on in the home. There was so I was watching this thing where an ex-Satanist said that like they would go after families, like they would just go after them, because they know that if you can break the family, because let me tell you this, strong families equals strong communities, and a strong community equals a strong nation. So if a nation is strongly, and I'm saying in God now, there's no stopping that. The devil can't have his own way. And the devil wants to come in and disrupt things.
He will try, but he can't.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're praying, you're disrupting some things in the air. You're disrupting what the enemy wants to disrupt.
It's like prayer comes.
Yeah, exactly. But the Satanist was saying that when you're constantly praying, they said that when they would try and go after people, there's like this blue dome that appears.
Oh, wow.
And they can't have their way.
That
I watched that. I don't know who it was, but I watched it. I was like, wow. But we're fighting a spiritual war.
Yeah.
And like in every area of life, mental health, in finances, in jobs, in the nations, like wars, we're just like fighting spiritual battles all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because the devil is just after every single thing.
Yes, he's after anything he can get his hands on.
And at any moment or second that he sees you, like he can get something from you, he will not hesitate. Say, oh, whatever. He will come at you.
Yeah.
As soon as you let your guard down.
As soon as you let your guard down, he's ready and willing to let.
Yeah, you might say, oh, it's just one movie that I'm watching. It's just one this. It's just one drink. It's just one friend, one lady, one woman, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's waiting. He's just there waiting for you.
Yeah.
To just snatch you.
He's like, and it's kind of luring him in. Like,
yeah. So the more you like engage in those things, or the more you like sin, he's just taking up more space.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he doesn't let you know until it gets to a stage where he becomes so powerful where he's like, oh, I can get you now.
Yeah, he's really feeding off of us now with the constant sin.
Yeah.
He's able to take more.
And each time you take more, he makes it look more enticing. So you're like, I want another bite.
Yeah. And it gets more addicting, and then we can't control ourselves. But the enemy is after the nuclear family. He wants to cause disruption because he knows that the power lies in the family. The power lies in the home.
Yeah.
Because it affects everything. Even our perspective on life.
Yeah.
Our perspective on God. That's how important, how strong the family can be.
And the sad thing is that a lot of times these days you see a lot of kids coming from broken homes.
Yeah.
And most of them that you see, I go to school with a lot of them.
Yeah.
Most of them that you see, the path that they're heading is not a good path.
No.
It's not a good life that they're headed to.
I want to give some statistics. This is from Fixed Family Courts, but 71% of all high school dropouts come from a fatherless home. 71%. Which means 29% comes from whatever, but that's only 29%. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 70% of juvenile in state-operated institutions come from fatherless homes. 85% of all youth sitting in prisons grew up in a fatherless home.
Yeah. And it's so sad.
Statistics show that... Oh, wrong thing. Children who feel closer to their father are 80% less likely to spend time in jail. 80%.
Yeah.
Why? Because they have that love.
And they have someone to look up to.
Yes. And yes, a role model in their life. They have a role model.
Especially boys, like growing up, like you gotta be this, you gotta be that. But if there's not a father, who do you look for to get advice from?
Because sometimes, like, we bypass our mother in a certain way. Like, we just know that our mother wants the best for us. So it's like, and like a lot of times our mother disciplines us so much, right? So we already have that fear of our mom.
Yeah.
But when it comes from your dad, it's like a different like feeling. It's like I gotta do this properly. Like, I gotta. And like to make sure that I impress my dad, or to make sure that he is well pleased with me. It's just like our Father in heaven. We want to do everything we can to please him. So that's why, like, it's so important that the family sticks together in love,
in
unity, in the Word of God.
And there's stability.
Yeah. Because if a home is not stable, what is it? Shaky.
Yeah.
So it can break at any toss.
One little flick.
One little situation can shake us off the rocks. But how do we get strong? We get strong by prayer, by supplication, with thanksgiving.
By realizing that God's way is the best way.
Yeah.
That's what he wants for you. That's how he intend a family, a home should be like.
Yeah. So the fruits of broken families are emotional challenges. You have a hard time expressing your feelings, dealing with your feelings. A lot of times we have a hard time behaving properly. When we, we spiral out of control. We want to be the bad guy at school, always flunking out. Our behavior is because of our homes being so broken, because of the chaos in our families. What happens? Chaos replicates in your life.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Mental health issues, we can become severely depressed. Did you ever feel depressed because of it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
But all that got healed and broken off from me after,
right.
I met Jesus.
It could cause trust issues between anybody, really.
Yeah, building new relationships.
Building new relationships will be hard for people because there's no foundation for them to. They don't know what a good relationship looks like. It's like when we don't have a standard for things.
Yeah.
We're not sure what to expect. We're not sure how to go about handling situations. We don't know how to do that because, we never was taught that. And we only saw dysfunction.
Yeah. That is true.
All right. Economic hardship.
Yeah, because since it's like from one parent, it's like there's not two people working together now, putting together money to provide for the home.
and you know what? A lot of times this happens to the mother.
Yeah.
Because when the father is usually the breadwinner, when he steps out of the picture, the mother has to go to work.
She has to work extra hard.
She has to work extra hard. She has to go find a job, and sometimes we'll just take what we can get, and it's not that much money, and like we're all struggling. Like there's barely food on the table, stuff like that all happens, and like I wanted to say, like, there was like the reason why this stuff happens is because we live in a fallen world. Like I was saying earlier, it's not one particular person's fault. We just live in a sinful world. Yeah. So this is what comes out of the sinful world.
Yeah.
This is what happens when sin drives our nature, And we don't get the nature of God until we come into God. So imagine all your life you're living without the nature of God.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the nature of God, what good can there be?
It'll just be misery.
Misery.
And sometimes we think that the misery is good.
Yeah.
But it's really not good.
It's not good, no.
Wait until you see the goodness of God.
You'll be blown
like,
away.
whoa!
You'll be blown away,
That's
man.
good.
Wow, that's real good. I thought I was doing good, but this is like great.
Extremely good. Yeah. Perfectly good.
This is awesome, Yeah. So, and then what happens is that like parents and children's relationships are like wrestling back and forth. It's hard on them.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's like a disconnect.
Yeah. Like, it's just weird and just awkward.
It's an awkward relationship. Well, you know that.
Yeah. Especially like So when your dad like moves away and like you know for the fact that he left, and it's like he's outside, but you still have to have a relationship with him. It's like you're forcing yourself to have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Because it's like I know what happened. I know what this.
It's weird because like and then it's like, how do you interact with somebody? How do you still have a relationship with somebody who's a part of the problem?
Yeah, and especially like in the early stages when like you're so angry and you're angry at your parents for like saying, "Oh, you did this to me. You could have made a better choice, but you didn't."
Yeah.
How am I supposed to have a relationship with you?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like these things are so sad. Like.
And especially as a child, if you don't have God, it's like, and you don't know how to extend mercy and grace, it's like, and you don't understand, it's like even more confusing. And
you don't understand forgiveness. Yeah. It becomes really bad. Really bad.
Very bad.
So that's why we need to share God, share the gospel, share with everybody, with especially young adults, youths, kids. Like we have to make sure they know about the gospel. Because we will save a generation from brokenness.
Yes, brokenness. That's what it is.
Brokenness maybe happened in the home, but it wouldn't translate to them.
Because they have God.
They have, and they understand that their completeness resounds in God, relies in God.
And they know what God says about them. That even though mother and father may forsake you, I will never leave you or forsake you.
Exactly. That's why we need to share God with everyone. Because I don't know where you would be.
That's what I said. I really don't like. I think about this a lot. I don't know what I would be or where I would be.
Yeah,
I'd pack my bags and run away and end up I don't know where
on the streets.
I'll probably be like,
wow, yeah, because you never know how you can spiral.
Yeah,
you never know. So you don't put yourself above things. Because. And the moment that we put things above us, it happens to us. Like we don't even know how it happened. But when you're in that constant state of humility, that's where. But what I'm trying to say, you see, I'm going in a different direction. But you never know how things can get out of control. Yeah. So you just have to put your trust in God and say thank you. Yeah. Because without God, we are all nothing. Yeah.
And I came to the place where I accepted it. Like, this was just meant to happen. It just happened. Right. And God knows why it happened. It's just a greater purpose, maybe. Maybe if I had both of my parents, I would not be the person I am today. Some of the lessons that I learned and the person I am, the understanding that I have of certain things, I probably wouldn't have had that if I didn't go through that.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And you know what? I'll tell you this, though. God never wants us to be... Yeah. In situations like this. But like I said, it's the result of a fallen world. It's the sin, the devil, like, and I know that's like you always say that that's the problem. But that's just the problem.
Yeah. He's a loser.
Yeah. And that's what losers do. They try and always seek out problems with other people.
Yeah. They try to cause strife between people.
Yes. That's who the devil is. He's a loser.
Yeah.
So yes, the reason why chaos happens is because of the enemy. Always fighting against the goodness of God. So if God makes such a good thing,
why? Yeah.
I heard this thing. The enemy cannot create. So what? He disrupts or something. But I'm gonna say, but he corrupts. So he corrupts. Yeah. The enemy cannot create, so he corrupts.
Yeah. He tries to make a counterfeit creation.
Yes.
With his disruption.
Yeah. So if we have a perfect family, he's going to make a dysfunctional family.
And he's going to say, I made that bad.
I made that bad. Because he wants the credit for things. Yeah. So he's going to try and
But the good thing about our God is that even though we live in a fallen world and even though situations do happen and it looks like disruption and destruction, he takes it and he turns it around for your good. He's always willing. He's always there. You just got to open up and realize that he is there.
Wow. Yeah. And like, especially for you to say that, that's like a big thing.
Yeah, I know.
Because you've been through a lot concerning family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of things that nobody should experience.
Yeah, sometimes I in my head I'm like, I wish I had a different, like I used to think this way. There's a lot of things that I used to think, like I wish I had a different family. Maybe I wouldn't be this way. Maybe I wouldn't have to face this. Maybe I wouldn't have to go through this. There's many times where I wanted to run away too. And then people would be like, what money? Where are you gonna go? I was like, if I die, I die. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
But God has brought me out of that. He healed me, and he's still healing parts of me that still needs to be healed. And
nice.
Still removing things that I built up during that time.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad though. I'm glad you're experiencing your your safety net. I'm glad you're not,
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not out there. I'm glad I gave God a chance. To
I'm
work
glad,
with this mess.
Yes. Because look at it. If you ever need an example, it's right here.
Yeah.
That God can mold something out of a brokenness.
Because you remember how I was.
Oh yeah, she was annoying to me. Like,
I was a total mess, complete right mess.
I'm just kidding.
I never wanted to talk to anyone.
Yeah, she was very reserved, very quiet, and not like the usual I'm shy, but like, no, I don't want to do anything with you. Like, just leave me alone. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, she was never, I don't think you were really like that with me.
Not really, because you forced yourself in.
Yeah.
Well, not that you forced yourself in.
No, I did.
But like,
But yeah. I know that's, yeah.
You kept like pursuing me.
I did. Because I realized that, you know what? We all need a friend. We all need, well, we're family. So we all need a better family. Yeah. You know? And I understood. Like, when I saw all that stuff, I heard about all that stuff, I was like, whoa, what is Carissa feeling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, what is going through that girl's head? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Lord, you gotta help her. Because
there was a point in time where I wouldn't really express myself to anyone. Even after we built a friendship, I never really expressed my feelings.
Nah, she didn't. And it kills me. All the time, because all the time I was like, if you ever need to talk about anything,
she would always tell me, she was like, if you need to talk to me, I'm here. I'm like, yeah, I know.
She's like, yeah, I know. I'm like,
but I never really opened up.
Yeah, but she did not open up for a while, until I don't even know when you.
I guess it's the trust issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust issues. And it's not your fault.
It wasn't really that, but it was just like I didn't want anyone to know what was happening. Yeah, because and sometimes, especially in brown Indian families, they're like, "Don't tell anyone, Yeah, don't tell anyone we're going through this." So like,
yeah. So those little things have been. Yeah, but like, the sad situation is that we all knew.
Yeah, because you could tell, but
you could tell, but like within families, like
especially like when we get invited to like family stuff, and it's like
where everybody comes.
It's like only like the mom comes with the kids, or the dad comes with the kids, or just the kids come. Yeah. Because in most cases that was me and Christoph. It was just the two of us. Mm-hmm. And then when you gather and you see everyone with their mom and dad or their family, I'm like, oh God. It's just such a turn off. It's like, where's my parents? They're not here.
Yeah. That was like Christmas or something.
Yeah. Or like even Thanksgiving, like it was just always be the two of us, me and him.
Yeah. Well, we shall pray for reconciliation. Yeah. The Ministry of Reconciliation. Yeah. But yeah, but it's such a hard situation to face. It's a hard, my sympathy, my empathy, my everything goes out to you.
I know.
Yeah, like, because it goes back to what I was saying. Nobody.
But the thing that I'm really thankful for is that I was like, there's certain kids, like 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds who like come from a broken home, and like when I think about it, I'm like, those poor kids. Because I was 13 and I was of age where like I had a little bit of understanding, like, and I could have done things on my own.
Right. Okay.
But like, what about those kids who
can't,
who don't know and can't do anything,
who rely hand and foot on their parents?
Yes.
Yeah. And like you had a little bit, you like know life with both your parents.
Yeah.
But imagine, that. So, there's always places where we can give God thanks. Mm-hmm. Always. My throat really hurts right now.
My eyes really hurt. And my tummy, because I'm hungry.
Me too. I didn't eat since like 12.
I didn't eat since like 12 too.
Yeah, and it's what time? 7:49.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yes. So, but what I want to, this is like, I don't know. No, we always say stick close to Jesus. Yeah. Keep Jesus close.
Yes.
We had a whole episode on this, but We always say this when we close out because you know what? Keeping Jesus close makes everything better.
Mhm.
And like in the hard times, that's where it's really tested.
Yeah.
When we don't see Jesus, like when we feel like we don't see
Mhm.
Jesus, are we gonna continue to pursue him?
Mhm.
Continue to keep him close, knowing that, or I don't see you right now, but I'm gonna stay close to you.
And then sometimes it's in those rock bottom moments where we truly experience the true love of God, and where we truly get to know who He is.
Mm-hmm.
An authentic encounter with Him. Because that's
Exactly.
what happened to me. All my life I grew up, but it was just religious.
Yeah.
And religion.
Yeah.
But it was during that moment where I broke down crying in my worst of worst moments where I felt His love. And where I decided that, yes, I'm going to have a relationship with Him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like he as long as you give him a chance, he's able to help you through everything and just to take you through everything. And at the end of the day, he's the one that created you. He's the one that has purpose for you. So if you feel so worthless because of how this person's treating you, or maybe your parents are treating you a certain way, you can go to him.
Yes. Always note, you can always go to him. He's available 24/7.
Even when it hurts, even when you feel down.
When you
alone.
feel disappointed in God, it's okay.
Yeah.
Go back to him though. What's not okay is that we leave him.
No. Don't ever do that.
Don't leave him. All right. And you know what? Sometimes we got, especially to avoid broken relationships, broken families, take an honest review of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And let Jesus heal you of all the trauma,
Mm-hmm.
of the pain.
Yeah.
Give it to Jesus.
Yes.
Give it to Jesus. I think we were talking about this in the Let It Go episode too, but we gotta take a full analysis of our past and our present, so that way we can make clear for a beautiful future.
Yeah, and everything that you're struggling with, everything that you need help with, just go to him and seek him for it. He will help you. He wants the broken parts
Yes. Of you. Cast your cares.
He wants the most messed up parts of you that no one else has ever known about or seen.
Or anybody's ever willing to help you with. Yeah.
Jesus just makes everything better. Even if you're a mess right now and you go to him, he will make your life so much more better in the future.
He'll make a beautiful future for you. Right? Because that's what he wants for us, you know? All right, everyone. That is it for this week.
Now it's time for me to go eat and go sleep.
This is a crazy episode.
It's been a crazy day, yeah.
Yeah. We speak truth, guys. Just know that.
Anyways, yeah, we hope this
and address challenges of this generation. Yeah, that's a lot of this generation. Yeah. But yes, go back to what you were saying.
We hope this episode was a blessing to you, and it encouraged you to keep Jesus close, and that it's okay to be broken as long as you give it over to the Lord. And it is. What else?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. We love you.
Yeah, we love you. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who might need to hear this.
And follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, we have a TikTok now. Yeah. And a Facebook.
Yes.
We have a Facebook now.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, newly made. It's newly made.
Yeah.
So follow us there. And yeah.
And we love you.
And we love you so much. Thank you for watching this episode. We love you.
Yes.
And
okay.
We love you. Can you see that? Oh. All right, fine, yeah.
Can they see?
Yeah. All right, we love you, and this episode is cut.